what I was thinking, I can't remember if we've been over this before. But what I was thinking, because I was sorting some cards, right?
Okay.
Have you ever collected anything? I don't know if I've ever.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of collected cards for a period there, and
What cards?
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
But before a
not
minute,
like hardcore like you're doing, but
when
like
you was a kid or
yeah, as a kid.
yeah, okay. Like kid or like what do you mean when you're a kid?
I mean, like 12, 13?
Yeah, okay.
I feel like that's when it was out.
It's not cool anymore.
No, it's just so expensive. How many hundreds of dollars of cards do you have sitting in folders?
Oh, thousands of.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that why? You reckon it's like it just?
I mean,
as you've grown old, as an adult, you're like it's a monetary
That's
thing.
a pretty big barrier to entry.
Because people always bring this up, right? You know, oh god, it's all this money and stuff like that. But then, or even like I've had over the years like worked with jock type dudes, right?
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows the type I'm talking about.
Those types. And if I've mentioned, if they've like sniffed out any of my more nerdy hobbies, oh, waste of money and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you doing on the weekend? Oh, I'm gonna get wasted at the pub. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like
one lasts a longer, I guess.
Yeah. So
and could potentially have monetary value in the future, unlike your beers.
Yeah.
Which definitely will not have monetary value.
So
unless you're really famous.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're an influencer and you're you make it.
You find a very niche market.
Yeah, true.
I hope it's very niche anyway.
Because yeah, this is yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking like, what are your? Because I like, how would I word it? So I do I use cards somewhat for my fucking headset just make a noise like it's going to go flat. So if it does, I'm going to be angry. I use card stuff for content sometimes, but I'd also just consider it a general like, it's still just a hobby, like a hobby, you know. So, what are your hobbies outside of video games, Ash? What are they? Collecting pop vinyls?
For a little while there, like it was a very small collection. It'd be like interesting ones that I was like I had BoJack Horseman and Nathan Drake and that kind of stuff, but I didn't get super into that. Just a lot of like buying comics or graphic novels and they're just never getting around to reading them. There was a period there with buying books, never got around to reading them. Yeah. And there was a period where I was getting box sets of different DVDs like back before streaming was a thing. Those were like big. That was where a lot of disposable income was going. Yeah. So. Yeah. I guess watching sport would be outside of nerddom would be the only other thing.
A hobby, yeah. Main hobby.
Off the top of my head, yeah. And this, I guess.
This isn't a hobby. This is life.
This is life. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I don't consider this a hobby at all. Fucking requires too much work and brain power to be considered a hobby.
This specific podcast is a hobby.
This specific podcast is a hobby. Explosion Network as a whole is not a hobby.
No.
I mean, I used to like, especially when I got my first job, I used to go to every payday, like every week. It'd be like, all right, well, I've got this money's like straight away burning a hole in my pocket, so I got to go buy a bunch of Blu-rays. And now I have like 1,000 well over 1,000, I reckon by now, Blu-rays.
Yeah.
All in boxes primarily, like storage. It's just sort of stored away. But so I always wonder, like, because it is like a personality thing. So when I think as a kid, did Pokemon cards, did Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but I also collected stamps at one point, collected coins at one point. Always
a
got
lot of
into
people do the coin thing.
Yeah, do you reckon? Like a common.
I don't know. Well, you worked at petrol station. I worked at I work on news agency.
So people come in and
the people who see a cool coin, they're like, I'm going to keep that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you remember those coins that came out a couple of years ago? More a couple. For the Olympics or whatever, where they had like the colors around the $2 and stuff?
Oh, there's heaps of coins have colors all over them now. So.
No, it was a rim. It was like bright red, bright green, like all around the rim. That was the bee's knees for a while there. People were coming in asking for them and seeing if I had them and stuff like that.
No, go to a bank.
Yeah, I got into collecting coins for
go to the mint.
Is that a thing? Is that a real thing? Can you go to the mint?
Yeah, they have like a gift shop or whatever. Okay.
I'd love to know.
They're not going to pull them off the line for you, but they've got specially packaged coins.
I've got somewhere, hopefully in a box somewhere, like a bunch of this stuff I still kept. Like there was, how when commemorative stuff happens, they do like commemorative stamps and stuff like that. Yeah. So there was like a period there for the couple of years I was stamp collecting as a kid. I would walk up to the news agency and be like, "Hey, I'm going to buy this commemorative
I need to buy this Humphrey B. Bear stamp."
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And I'm hoping I've got this stuff somewhere because I can guarantee it's surely worth more than what I paid for it back then. And some of it's cool.
I know. Did you store it well?
I never took it out of it. They always came in plastic containers and stuff, and I never took them out. I've also got like a commemorative coin that the post office did for, what's the real famous cricketer? It was like a
Sir Donald Bradman?
Yeah, Bradman, right. I got like a coin for him.
Cool.
Surely that would be worth something. If I had it.
I don't know what dollar value was the coin.
At the time, I think it was like $10-$20 to buy this one coin.
No, what denomination?
No, it was like it wasn't real money. It was like
it was a fake.
It was like a fake coin, but it was like $10-$20. So it's more of a metal, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's in like a little plastic thing, and then you open it up and it has like his picture on the front and the side, and those
probably shouldn't open it up.
Yeah, you shouldn't open it. I didn't. So yeah, so I've always been into collecting things. I can't think. I collected, and then there's other things like I got obsessed with. The earliest thing I remember getting obsessed with, two earliest things I remember getting obsessed with, and I'm sorry if long-time Explosion Network listeners have heard me tell any of these stories before, but I was just thinking about them because I was sitting here sorting cards waiting for Ash to get on. When I was a kid, they weren't like Kinder Surprises, they were like some other like lolly.
Yowies.
Right? Yeah, so Yowies I had as well, but there was something that I have no idea what they're called. I couldn't even guess it. It was a very specific lolly, but they had they come with these different little dogs and stuff with them. So it was probably something just really random, but I was obsessed, and I got down to the stage where I had one to get, and it was that thing where my whole family, like both my nans and pops, knew that I was hunting it, and I was both trying to find it for me and all that sort of thing. I have no idea where the hell they've ended up, but those sorts of things. Me and my dad got a full Simpsons Tarzo collection out of chips when I was a kid.
Ooh.
I think I've still got that somewhere, complete in the proper folder. So that's something. And then the weirdest one. This is a very Australian, weird one for a kid. And I was probably 10 to 12 for this one. But Better Homes and Gardens started doing Better Homes and Gardens.
Every issue.
Yeah, so they had at all your Mitre 10s and stuff, whatever like that, they had these magazine things that they were putting out, and you could buy a folder for them and whatever else, and they were focused on different areas of the garden and house and whatever else. And I had my pop driving me around all of Launceston to all the different stores trying to track down the last 2 issues I needed at one stage to complete this folder. So I didn't really care to read them. Well, I don't think I did. It was cool. I liked the way they looked. Like they had nice pictures on the front. They had a cool little folder. Because I feel like that's half of it. If you're collecting something, you got to like the way it has to be a visual sort of stimulation. Get what I mean? So I always liked collecting things. And I don't feel like I feel like there's a big difference between people always like compare it to hoarding. It's not hoarding. There's just there's a hunt.
Hoarding
to it
is
sometimes.
different. Hoarding's like
keeping junk.
Yeah, random stuff that you really don't.
Yeah, and sometimes you can
and not keeping it in a condition.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
I think it's the keeping of the stuff rather than necessarily the stuff.
And there's that thing where if you collect anything, you almost never really want to complete it because then you're like, what do I do now? You know?
I think some people would disagree, but
I guess, but if you're missing one or two things from a set of something, of course you want it right in the moment, but as soon as you get it and you have that, like, you're really elated that you've got it, but then, you know, next day, what am I doing now?
The comic book guy, what have they done with my...
Yeah, literally. I know people collect all sorts of weird shit, I'm sure. People collect rocks. I never got into rock collecting, at least as far as I'm aware. Not even as a kid. I got into, I was collecting shells at one point. For every time, because we go to the beach quite often. You know, as kids, like, go down quickly for
get some
shells. Get some shells, and I was always bringing them back and collecting them and stuff like that. I had no idea what my child mind criteria was for, or the end goal was, but they were certainly being collected. So, I was just thinking because I was like, again, I was sitting there waiting for you. Then
it's fair.
And I was, because you were on my mind, I was like, I can't remember if we've ever had this conversation around. If you've ever really gotten to heavy collecting.
No, I don't know. We probably haven't. Yeah.
No.
Of all the crazy conversations we haven't had this one. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously as a kid, you get... I think a big one was Thomas the Tank Engine trains as a kid.
Like full size, or they like the miniature, like the
little ones, like on the wooden tracks and that kind of stuff.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, wanting to get all the trains.
Yeah.
And then, like, as a kid, like, you want to get every single book in a series.
Yes, because they had numbers on the side.
Yeah.
On the front. Remember the book series Shelby, the dog? Did you ever have that? Or is that's like, you're probably like already 40 by the time I was reading that.
Don't think it was that old.
I don't think I'm that
old now.
I was going to say, do you even know how old I was? So are you able to debate this? So. I was obsessed with getting those, though. They had like a bunch. They were never like massive books. Goosebumps, of course, because they're numbered. Those motherfuckers
are they?
Mm-hmm. They're numbered. Goosebumps 1, Goosebumps 76. You know?
I mean, they don't need to be numbered, is what I'm saying.
No, but it just makes it like, Goosebumps 88, the one about the dude who did the thing. You know, that's how you sort of...
I remember there was one about a shrunken head.
Yeah.
Of course, all the slappy ones, yeah. But Animorphs was a big one for as a kid.
Fucking Animorphs, yeah.
Yeah.
They're numbered.
Read almost all of it. I feel like I dropped off like 4 books before the end.
Like a lot of things in life, you don't see it through, hey?
Yeah. And I had all of them, and then I lent one to somebody, and then I never saw them again.
Right. You never saw them again, or the book again?
Never saw them again, or the book.
Okay, they just disappeared?
Just disappeared, vanished.
It's fucking hell. Right.
Witness protection.
Yeah. It's weird. I've never got into video game collection, though. That's like such a big part. I've never really cared to collect video games.
I need to own a copy of something.
But like, I care to own very specific things.
Yeah, I think that's collecting.
I guess so, to a degree. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I guess you're right. It is collecting to a degree, but it's not like hardcore.
I need to own everything, but you're like, do you own a copy of Bayonetta on the PS, whatever it was?
Yes, I've got it somewhere in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've kept I keep my favorite games or games that mean something to me. Like, you know, and there's a bunch of I've got Final Fantasy 7 and 9, like the original PS1 versions and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah.
So I guess stuff like so there's a degree of collecting there, but I know people who get like hardcore into, you know, every time you see people who have these massive collections of current gen console or last gen console games, I'm like, what do you need all that for? You playing all them? But at the same time, people go like, you watched all those movies? I'm like, nah. Reading all them books? No.
Someone needs to buy them. Somebody needs to support the devs, Dylan. So that's why you keep buying them, even if you're not going to play them.
Yeah, fair. If you could collect one thing, like not taking into account how much it costs to be like to get into it, what would be like the one thing you'd love to get into?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a very.
Asking the hard questions now.
It is a hard question, unprompted, and like. Yeah, I don't know. Movie posters. Maybe it'd be cool to have like a collection of like actual movie posters from maybe special places.
I looked into that at one period, like when I bought my house and then got divorced basically and had to sell it. But the when I moved in, I was like suddenly like, oh, I've got all this space, like I've got these and I started looking into like movie poster collecting and where you could rent it from, where you could buy posters from, like old ones, and the pricing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
fucking the prices on some of those old posters to get OG sort of proper ones.
Yeah, not
like reprinted or redones or whatever. Shit can get expensive. Very expensive.
I mean, at a point though where I was interested in like comic book art and like, I think it would be really cool to get like original,
like the original art,
like original art, and like that kind of stuff. And there's like, you look at the prices, it's like several thousands of dollars, which is totally fair because obviously it's a lot of hard work and they're one of a kind stuff. But yeah, it's very pricey, like, especially when we're in Australia and the stuff is in America and it's got to find a way to get over here.
Pay about the same in postage to get any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I looked at like film prints too once, like they how they do
like
those fancy the cells with they put them in nice little packages and you own like this particular cell from a movie and stuff like that. That stuff's cool. Again, expensive, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I've never really been into one thing. I've never really ever, even taking away the idea of money, something I know people collect. Even if I had all the money in the world, not like, I don't know if I'd ever get super into movie like memorabilia, like whatever, like movie props and stuff. You know how people like
what? So you're not going over to the A24 auctions? They've got all the
I saw that
everywhere all at once stuff.
I think that's why it's on online. I don't know. Like even if I had all the money in the world, I don't know what I'd want. See, and that's not to say there wouldn't be stuff I wanted. Like for example, if they were like, "Hey, the Scorpion jacket
the briefcase from Reservoir Dogs."
Or something. No, that's Pulp Fiction. Come on, Jesus
damn
Christ.
It. You just came out of my mouth too quickly.
But if they had like Ryan Gosling's jacket from Drive, the original one, or something, and money was no problem, I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, give that shit to me. But, people get like really obsessed with getting a bunch of stuff. Like think of the Nicolas Cage superfan Pedro Pascal level, that can afford to just buy all this shit. I don't know. I don't know if I could get that hardcore into it. Movie. Is that what it's called? Memorabilia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to look.
What? How much it costs?
How much? Yeah. Because I saw something.
Oh, on the Everything Everywhere All at Once stuff?
Yeah.
Or something else. Yeah. The cheapest item's probably $50,000.
Yeah, everything's in the thousands. Well, Deidre's calculator, $800. It's pretty solid. Chef Chad's uniform, $3,000.
Are they doing this for charity or are they just selling it?
They're just doing it for charity, yeah.
Yeah, what's
The Rock from the Rockverse, $8,200.
Legit Rock? I thought it was CGI.
Rock. No.
They had a reference.
How much do you reckon this Order of the Month trophy is currently going for?
$10,000?
Pretty close, 14. Okay. What about the Rakakuni puppet?
$50,000?
Higher.
Oh my god. Oh, fuck. 100.
$90,000 at the moment.
Yeah.
They've got there's two completely random items that going for a lot. Wayman's chapstick, $1,250.
I wonder if it's real chapstick.
I'd assume so. Then the carton of half and half, $1,000.
Why?
I don't know. Someone really wanted it. Hoping it's empty.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they think it's not. They're going to be ripped off. They're going to
clone. Clone. Q Quan. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's record Arcade Couch.